What's up, guys? It's time for my review of set number 4645, the LEGO City Harbor, ages 5 to 12, with a retail price of $89.99 United States dollars, with 551 pieces. So ouch at the price count. It's looks like about 17 to 18 cents per piece. And here's the thing in person. The City Harbor is basically a 2011 response to the need to fill up the LEGO city in perspective, I guess, and it seems to be a continuation of the 2007 Harbor, which in my opinion was much better, and I'll go into that much later on. The set has several features. It has basically a dump truck with aggregate in the back. There are the 4 minifigs with a fishing rod, a pier with a crate of fish hidden behind the signal pole, a huge cargo ship of grain. I mean, I said aggregate, but it looks more like aggregate. And yet the sticker sheet was so warped up that it won't stick. It has a conveyor system and a crane. Time for a close-up of this pretty decent set. Bed on the first floor and the cockpit on the second floor. These are removable bays. They carry the grains. For me, it seems to be aggregates, but the box doesn't seem to be making sense. I mean, the set doesn't make sense when you come to think of it as grain. I mean, it looks more like aggregate, but that's LEGO. It's their own set. It's their day. And there's the empty room. Well, it's pretty empty. It's just a room. Nothing special. A mouse and a crate, a garbage recycling bin, and just more minor details. And we have on top here the conveyor system. Nothing really special. It's just you just drag out the rock through there that the crane picks up from the boat. The crane reminds me of set number 4565 from 1996. The Freight and Crane Railway has that philosophy. The design is good. It's just I'm not really crazy about the colors at all. A little close up at the pier, minifigs, and the truck, and it can be unloaded like this, but I'm not going to unload it because I do not want to have to pick up those 6 pieces. If you fancy 10 1x1 rounds for your traffic lights, power lines, street lights, for your trees, I mean, if you're building concrete stuff, this set has it. It has 42 of those, so if you make 7 brick height trees, you can make 6 trees, so it's not too bad. I mean, you can make 6 tree stems. It also has quite a bit of 1x4 tiles in gray. I used to be riveting those because of the interest of doing concrete ties, so there's plenty of them in the truck. And it continues their whole marine feeling. I kind of like that. I like the navigational tools that they managed to maintain in the ship. And here are some other details about the set. It is a easy build, modular build. It took me about an hour without goofing off to complete this. Maybe even less, because you just throw 42 pieces in containing bays, so I mean that saves you time. And it's very simplistic, modular. It's just one thing that always frustrates me is the string. The string is always hard to tie. It always comes off, especially the fishing rod. I just repaired it and now it's loose again. But I'm not gonna I'm just not gonna be emphasizing on holding the weight of it. I'm just gonna put the minifig sitting down when I deliver it to them. As you see here, it's getting loose, but not much you can do. And one thing I want to say before I get to the reviews, I am not happy with the color selection. It is ridiculous. It's tacky. I don't even care that it's a 5 to 12 or 6 to 12 set. I mean, that doesn't do anything to justify the horrible color selection in the dock. I mean, it doesn't look right. I know kids don't want to see tan, kids don't want to see brown, but at least make it like, I don't know, maybe if it was all medium blue or something, or all white. White would be a pretty decent color, but I mean, that's just my 2 cents. People have their own opinions, but I think it just looks very childish and it kills the set, even though it can be a flashback to the 1980s when basically sets like this had blue and yellow. So maybe someone was inspired then from then to model it now. What's interesting is the whole gutters here. I mean, it's all brown grills, lots of it, and the box is falling down, but the weight of the set will keep it up. So, and as always, it's interesting to see the street pole. I mean, it's a new design, modern, but I would like to see a truss arm one day. And I mean, that's just a set. It's very simple. The truck looks pretty decent, though I don't know why they would make a dump truck or so without a full bay in the dumper. I mean, it feels like those parts can fall out easily, too easily for that matter. And now for the reviews of this set. The first field of review, and I'm going to be taking notes of this so I can calculate the average as accurately as I can, is playability. Playability is one of the key things of any city set for that matter. If I did not review a city set, it would be this playability, such as the Technic sets, but here playability prevails, and for that I'm going to be giving it an 8. It's got very decent playability. You can load the things from the crane to the conveyor, from the boat, blah blah blah, but however I guess you could load it onto the barge and back. Though I think the playability in this set's a little unrealistic. I mean, you can play with it, but it just makes I mean, the way you're playing with it seems too comical and too childish. You're supposed to be teaching kids how to prevail, like how to, I mean, this is supposed to be like a practice for real city sets. I mean, that's the point of it, I guess, to replicate the city sets. This doesn't seem to be, it looks like a play set pretty much, but a very poorly chosen one. I mean, not a very poorly, but a slightly poorly chosen combination at that. And the kids might not really like to do a farm line. I mean, nice to have a green boat, but the green boat, I mean, but people are more interested in ginormous structures such as the container ships. And now for looks of the set. Not gonna be a good one actually. I'm very disappointed in how it looks. I'm gonna be giving the looks of the set a 4. Horrible tackiness, horrible. I do not like it. If the building were a different color, as I said earlier, it would be much better, much more functional. The yellow door is super tacky. It reminds me of Jackstone from 2003. The boat, nice to be green and all. It's a very symbolic color, I guess, for the environment. But the red in the steam does not look right. This does not tend to jive in with the color selection. Color selection is a different story. But this is just an overall attraction factor in the look of the set. I think this part is very childishly designed. I mean, there are city sets that can look really good. Hint, hint. And I'm going to be showing you the hint, hint right there. And there are some that just look really rigged. I do not like this. I do not like the looks of this at all. For price to piece ratio, it's going to be a 4. It's a ripoff. 90 bucks for a 551 piece set. Not gonna do well. Not gonna score. I mean, that's nearly 20 cents per piece, and it's like you're paying 100 bucks for a 50 buck set. It's not right. This should at least be about 50 to 60 bucks top. 60, 65 maybe. But to charge 90 bucks for this, like, I just got 100 bucks. I can buy 7.5 cups of pick-a-brick or 6.5. large cups of pick-a-brick and get more parts and more efficiency than this. And for color selection, it's going to be a 7. And that's because it has brown and gray pieces. Interesting. Pretty good combination. It has the brown grills. It has gray 1x4 tiles. I really like 1x4 tiles. And I might correct myself in saying that the 1x4 tiles are in the harbor itself, not in the truck. Though there are a couple in the truck. And you can see it in the conveyor. There are dark tan Technic pieces, which is interesting nonetheless. And it's nice to see the I mean, it is interesting, even though it doesn't look right, to see this in yellow, this ship piece. Blue is a very aquatic color, but the selection for that is but otherwise the brown and gray is a good combination for this and for the boat, and it's nice to see those pieces in those colors because brown grills are pretty damn useful, I'll tell you that. And lastly, for the part selection, application of parts, a 6. The parts are very, as I said, it correlates with the looks a little bit. It just doesn't look right to see this. They don't apply all the parts much too well here. It looks very brittle, very odd. This looks very blocky and very narrow. This whole hallway is just a waste of room. It's a waste of real estate. But as for the pros of this part of this chamber of the ratings, I do like how the ship looks to some extent, even though this part looks a little odd and tacky. The conveyor looks a little weird, but it's decent, I guess. It's mediocre. If you ask me, it's mediocre. Now the pro spot is the truck there. It looks like a truck. It looks right. They applied it perfectly for that, but for the meter set, it does not look good. And now I'm going to be calculating the average rating. 29 out of 30 makes a 5.8 out of 10. This is a mediocre ranking set, and I have to agree with the ratings. If you ask me, try to find the 2007 Harbor. It is much better than this. This looks like a wreck compared to it. And I am the one that begs to differ from other reviewers. I don't really like the set too much. It's not exciting. It looks like a baby set, and city sets are designed to appeal to young children, but there are so many good sets that look much better and much more prepared than this. This does not look right. And if I were 8 or 9 years old when the set came out, I would have chosen against it and went for the 07 Harbor. Even the police station, which came out the same year, looks a lot better, and I'm going to be reviewing that on a separate episode. And that concludes it for your review of the 4645 Harbor. And stay tuned for other reviews such as the Grand Emporium, the Diagon Alley, and the police station, as well as the Death Star in the future and the Medieval Market Village. Thanks for watching and hope to see you soon. TE out.